Hello, welcome to Westergoss. I'm Larry Bartleet.
I'm Dan Stubbs.
And we're here to discuss the latest episode of Game of Thrones, which you've just seen. We're going to talk about the biggest moments, all of the fan theories that are springing up after this episode, and next week's episode, so the trailer.
I'm going to say these three words to you. Shall we begin?
Let's begin.
This was the last line of the episode. There's Daenerys back in the place of her birth. Dragonstone.
Name of the episode.
She's finally, after all these seasons, made it back home, which people didn't think was ever going to happen at one point. What would you say this episode did in terms of like Game of Thrones seasons tend to follow an arc where they start quite slowly, and then by the penultimate episode, it's all on. Mm-hmm. How did this one flow?
This was it was like a game of chess, I guess. All of the pieces are now in position. So you got Cersei literally with a map of Westeros explaining where all the enemies are. Yeah. And then you
quite a lot of them, isn't there?
Lots of them. Yeah. And then you flip to all of them, seeing what's going on. So Daenerys obviously just arrived. Jon is planning facing the the White Walkers and Cersei.
Getting a little northern alliance together, which is as a northern. I know it's not the same country, but I can't help but feel like it is.
Just identify with it.
Yeah. All those accents. Get the Karstarks involved, and what's the young girl from the Bear Islands called?
The Mormonts.
Right, the Mormonts. Yeah. Everyone likes the Mormonts.
Yeah, she's a.
So everyone's getting themselves in position. We all knew this was going to happen this season, but yeah, they've just kind of confirmed all the teams and where they're going to start off from. Mm-hmm. I think we need to talk about our favourite scene. So, what was, Larry, your favourite scene?
It was clearly the opening scene with Arya. Let's have a look at some of that.
Now, the first inkling that there was something wrong here, or right, should we say, was Walder Frey, who we know to be dead, saying, maybe I'm not the most pleasant man, which he wouldn't have ever acknowledged that. Uh-huh. Well, then he also, interestingly, he called it the Red Wedding. He started talking about the Red Wedding, didn't he? Which he gathered together everyone from the Red Wedding. And it's never actually, that's sort of like what the fans call it, but it's not called that in the series ever, is it?
No, it's not. Well, actually, I think it is.
It is. Right.
Yeah, maybe not in the series, but right. Yeah. No, it has been, I think.
And I mean, that was just a beautiful moment, seeing all of his awful team.
Yeah. All of the Freys are gone.
Yeah.
And I think it showed like the power of Arya now. Like maybe when we saw her last season, we didn't expect her to be that dangerous, but she can literally do anything now, probably.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to have this skill.
Yeah.
And another favourite scene, you were talking to me about the old the Sam bedpan.
Yeah. Sam Wyskamji. No, not him. Sam Watali. Another annoying accompaniment. But yeah, he was being subjected to bedpans and soup and books and more bedpans.
Yeah. And it made this sort of weird percussive song, didn't it? Where it was like chinking of bedpans, and him kind of going,
lots of dry heaving,
and then some farts as well. Yeah. It was a weirdly comical moment, I thought, in the episode. And then I thought maybe this could have been the backing track for Ed Sheeran. I want someone to put that rhythm together with Ed Sheeran's new song. Because we need to talk about the fact that Ed Sheeran appeared.
Yeah. So. We knew that it was going to be in a scene with Arya Stark because it was like a gift from the showrunners to Maisie Williams, who plays Arya. She's a massive Ed Sheeran fan. And his role was fairly minimal, I would say. I'm
going to say his acting was better in Bridget Jones 3.
Or Hollyoaks. No, not Hollyoaks. One of the Australian soaps.
Right, yeah. I've not seen that. I've not seen his entire body of work, actually, But it was good while Thomas Turgoose was in this little gang as well. There was really no point to them other than to sort of have this, just to get him in there, I think. But
a little quiet moment.
And he sang a little song, didn't he? I was trying to think of what Ed Sheeran's song could be applied to Game of Thrones. I could only think of The Shape of Euron they could have done. But
nice, lovely.
You got any obviously?
A little fun there. I don't have any, I'm sorry.
And
so you mentioned Euron.
I did.
There is a big Euron theory happening at the moment. Well, multiple theories.
This is your theory of the week, I believe.
This is my theory of the week.
You're going to do a theory of the week
every week.
You scour the internet for these.
Yeah.
You think of some yourself as well?
I do. Yeah. So usually people on Reddit are discussing things. People on Twitter are discussing things. So you can find out lots of different ideas about what's going to be happening in the next few episodes. And this week, everyone's talking about what Euron's priceless gift to Cersei is going to be. So he's promised to Cersei a priceless gift, and then she'll be convinced to marry him, supposedly. And
that was a nice little scene, wasn't it? Because Jaime's not into that idea so much, is he? Yeah. So tell us give us a quick sort of rundown of the top 5 things. Yeah.
There's only 4 actually.
Okay, that's fine.
The first one is a dragonbinder horn.
Right.
This is something that he has in the books, one of them, apparently. And if you blow this horn, you can enslave a dragon, and it burns the insides of whoever blows it. So it's actually not very useful unless you've got a sort of minion to do it for you. But no one really knows if it works or not, and we don't even know if it exists in the show. So it might just be a red herring. Then there's Tyrion, obviously, who Cersei's been after since season 5, I think.
So this would be Tyrion as a prisoner or sort of
or
on a skewer,
possibly. Yeah. And then both the other ideas are also people rather than things.
Okay.
The third one is Gendry, who is Robert Baratheon's bastard son, and he's been missing since season 3, and we know he's coming back in season 7. I don't think it's Gendry. I think he's got more things to do.
I feel like we are going to see him back this season.
We are going to see him back, but we're not going to see his head on a stick this season. And the last one is the Sand Snakes, who are currently thinking about allying with Daenerys Targaryen. And I think that's the most likely one, because we've seen them in a clip of next week's episode, which we'll talk about later.
Perhaps it could be hair extensions, because I feel like she's never got used to that.
I kind of miss the long hair, actually.
Yeah. Well, you've talked about next week's show there. So the trailer is out for the following episode. Tell us, with your Game of Thrones mastermind, what does it all mean? Talk us through what happens.
The trailer?
Yeah.
Should we just take a look at it first, maybe?
Why not?
A Targaryen cannot be trusted.
The Mad King's daughters will destroy the realm.
We have an army, a fleet, and 3 dragons. We should hit King's Landing now.
So, that was the trailer.
Yeah.
Let's talk through it in shot by shot, because we can get screen grabs and you can see what's happening. So, Jon Snow, first of all, planning to meet Daenerys, and one of his bannermen shooting down the idea.
Do you think they're going to end up happily ever after, Jon and Daenerys?
I think that's unlikely.
That's my dream for the series.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're a romantic at heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, they're sort of technically related as well, which fits perfectly.
They're nephew and aunt, actually.
Oh, right.
So that would be quite weird.
Yeah, weirder things about
Not weird for Game of Thrones, maybe. We've got Cersei saying Daenerys is mad, which is classic Cersei. We've got the Greyjoys.
She can talk.
She can. She is also rather mad. Greyjoys, Yara Greyjoy is planning to hit King's Landing with a big fleet.
And remind us she's on Daenerys' side now.
She is also on Daenerys' side, yeah.
But a kind of a master of the waves.
Yes, she's her sort of her admiral.
And Euron's
the same
niece.
thing for Cersei.
She Euron's niece?
Oh, yeah. So it's family war, really.
And they've teased as well, haven't they, Euron, that he's going to be a complete twat. He says he's going to be worse than Ramsay Bolton this season. Right,
I don't see how you can do that in 7 episodes, but...
No, he had a lot of time for all that evil, and he made the most of that time as well. So
far he's just been mean to Jaime. That's all we've seen,
sort of low-level trolling. But, well, there we are.
Yeah. We've also got Nymeria, which is Arya's wolf. We've not seen her since season 1. And who knows what that can mean, but it seems to suggest Arya's rejoining the Stark pack.
So the wolves, people, the sort of symbolic of what happens to each of the Starks.
Yeah, like Bran's is dead, Robb's died just as he did. Sansa's is dead. Who knows what that means?
Right.
She might betray Jon. We don't know.
Right. Well, there was a bit of tension this week, wasn't there?
Well, there was, yeah. In that meeting, Sansa kept shooting down Jon's ideas. Jon got angry with her afterwards.
But then they sort of made it up afterwards.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Sorry, Karen, I keep interrupting.
Also in the trailer, we have a sand snake fighting inside what looks like a ship. So, drama. Yara Greyjoy and Ilaria Sand sharing a nice kiss. And Littlefinger is being strangled by someone.
Wouldn't we all like to do that?
I think everyone would like to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
He's he's one of the worst characters.
He was just there lurking in the background of all those Stark scenes, wasn't he? Today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot to talk about from this week. It wasn't the most exciting episode.
No.
I feel like there's better to come this season.
I feel like they've set everything up beautifully, so now it's just about letting things fall.
It was a good reminder for people who haven't just sort of recently watched the last season as well, because there's been quite a wait, hasn't there, between them?
Yeah.
This will kind of refresh your memory about all the people.
Exactly.
And maybe if we finish off with our favourite quote of the week. Do you have a favourite quote from this week?
My favourite quote is Jon Snow when he's talking to Sansa, and Sansa says something, but, and then tries to say something else, and Jon says, everything before but is horseshit.
That's a good rule for life, isn't it? That was a Ned Stark quote.
Yeah.
I think I like the one where the Hound said something like, where he called someone a bold C word, then said, "You think you're fooling anyone with that top knot?" That's the worst Hound impression that's ever happened, isn't it?
It's sort of, yeah. Was it Scottish? Because he is, Rory McCann is Scottish, I think, but yeah.
I don't know, but he had a nice little
I
scene
liked
this week as well in The Hound. It was
Yes.
the humanity of the Hound was shining through once
Yeah,
again.
so you might not know this, but there were 2 bodies that were buried in this week's episode, and they were actually in a season 4 a long time ago, so you might not remember who they were, but they were a farmer and his daughter that Arya and the Hound stayed with when they were travelling together, and they got offered food and shelter and stuff, and then the Hound found out they had some silver and beat up the farmer, left him, and said to Arya, they're weak and they're good people, but they're going to be dead by winter. And now they are dead. And he's changed. I think he's feeling remorseful.
He's a changed man, for sure.
Yeah.
So a positive note there for the Hound.
Yeah.
Still funny, though, isn't he?
He is still funny.
Still got the lines.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's it for Westergoss for this week.
It is. Good name, isn't it?
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I like
It'll
it.
do. This will be back next week. Monday, you'll be back.
Monday next week.
You'll be formulating theories all week.
Well, yeah. I'll be cogitating.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed the episode of Game of Thrones as much as we did, if not this. And
yeah,
we've had one. And see you next week.
See you next week.